moving on to the session and our speakers. Let me first start with Ed. We have Ed Boxall, founder and managing director of SensHub. Ed brings over 25 years of aviation experience transitioning from an airline pilot to becoming a pioneer in unmanned aerial systems. Under his leadership, SensHub has secured groundbreaking BVLOS approvals, enabling truly autonomous drone operations across regional Australia. Joining Ed is Cooper Smart, general manager at SensHub. With his background in mechanical engineering and robotics, Cooper has been the driving force behind some of SensHub's most ambitious deployments. He's led the rollout of SensHub across industrial and agricultural sites in Western Australia, integrating AI-powered drone operations with real-time analytics. Welcome to the session, Cooper. Welcome to the session, Ed. It's a pleasure having you here. So maybe you can just do a quick wave and say a quick hi to the audience.
A pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for the introduction.
Thank you so much.
Likewise, looking forward to it.
So before we start, some housekeeping rules. We have the Q&A section on the top left. So you can drop in any question that you have during the session. I'll be your moderator and I'll help you ask those questions to Ed and Cooper throughout the session. The session is being recorded, so you'll have the recording on our website after NestGen is concluded. Feel free to drop a LinkedIn post with the hashtag NestGen. The top 3 posts will receive special NestGen hampers. So let's make this a big event and let's get that interaction on social media. Everything's all about social media nowadays. We're a small world. If you face any technical issues, feel free to reach out to our support team. Prishita is the support is available for support on this session. What we'll now do is I'll just give a quick introduction for the session, and then we will pass on the mic to Ed and Cooper for their insights. So personally, I've worked very closely with SensHub, and I've worked closely for a lot of deployments across Australia. And what makes SensHub's work particularly fascinating is the scale and impact of their deployments. They're not just operating 1 or 2 dock drones. They've built a network of autonomous systems across Western Australia. Their drones are conducting daily inspections of massive grain storage facilities, monitoring remote infrastructure, and providing 24/7 security surveillance, all while operating beyond visual line of sight. This isn't just automation for automation's sake. It's transforming how companies manage operations in some of Australia's most challenging environments. I know Ed and Cooper have a lot to share, and I'll pass on the dais to them. All of these sessions are possible because of our sponsors. So thank you for our sponsors. With that, Ed, Cooper, I know you have a lot more to this story, and could you walk us through through how SensHub is revolutionizing industrial site operations in regional Australia? So with that, over to you guys. I will quickly share your presentation, and then you can get started.
Thanks. While we're just waiting to share that screen, I suppose thanks for everyone watching live. It's fantastic to be back at NestGen. It's been a year on, so much has happened, so many learnings, as is fairly typical with this technology. Most importantly, is the overwhelming success that we've had with our initial drone-in-a-box rollout from way back in 2023 now. I'm Ed Boxall. I'm the managing director, as mentioned. Joining me is Cooper Smart. He's our general manager. Hi, Cooper. Thanks for joining the conversation this year. Cooper's been you've been an integral part of the development of our drone-in-a-box program, as mentioned. So it's good to have you here, and I'm sure to share some of your insights. Also, a huge thank you to the team at Flightbase for inviting us to be part of this event. It really is an honour. So as mentioned, our topic for 2025 is around our now mature, it's hard to believe that that's the case, our now mature drone-in-a-box operation at industrial sites in regional Australia using the SensHub solution, and how we're now sort of starting to focus more on taking advantage of the power of AI to further automate our operations, to make them more efficient, more cost-effective, particularly as we head towards one-to-many operations. So we might just jump to our introduction. So just give you a bit of a background about our experience. SensHub has been a commercial drone operator for over 12 years now, and we were an early adopter of the drone-in-a-box technology. So we tested the pre-release DJI Dock 1 system in 2023. Since that time, we've rolled out over 20 SensHub systems, consisting of 7 Dock 1 systems and 13 Dock 2 units. all paired with our custom communication system that provides the vital link between the drone on site, often hundreds if not thousands of kilometres away, and our remote operations centre. And for 2025, we're looking to deploy around another 30 units just in the next 12 months. We've completed over 11,000 flights today and expect this number to be approximately 30,000 flights by the end of 2025, particularly as we move towards continuous 24-hour drone-in-a-box operations. This has certainly been an earlier time frame than we expected 12 to 18 months ago. As with any new technology, and as an early adopter, the journey from initial deployment to the maturing of the operations can sometimes and has at times felt slightly overwhelming. However, we've proven that it's worth it to stick with it, and in the long run, hopefully we can kind of share how we can sort of remove the mystery around the drone-in-a-box operations throughout the presentation. So for those that are out there feeling like this is a complex technology to deploy, if you stick with it over time, it's definitely well worth it. So today we're going to be covering three key areas. Deploying the drone-in-a-box. So we'll just go back, I think, onto... Yeah, there we go. So in this presentation, I'm going to be talking about deploying a drone-in-a-box in regional Australia, some of the challenges, limited connectivity, harsh environments, extreme weather, and I'm talking about heat, and obviously vast distances between infrastructure. So that requires robust commercial solutions, autonomous operational resilience, and reliable power sources, just so that we can ensure that we have continuous and effective performance of our systems. We're going to talk about our operational success. We've successfully deployed drone-in-a-box technology in regional Australia. We've overcome some of those challenges, the connectivity limitations, the harsh environments, by using technologies like Starlink communication, AI-driven automation, and advanced remote monitoring, ensuring again that we have reliable and continuous operations in those regional areas. And finally, one of the things that's a bit of a theme across NestGen 25 is AI-driven enhancements. So for the drone-in-a-box operations in regional areas, the AI helps improve the autonomous decision-making and real-time intruder detection, for example, which basically ensures greater efficiency, reliability, and operational resilience in regional environments. And for those that are familiar with Australia, the distances are vast. Even something that seems just a few hundred kilometres away, to go out to site and back is often a 5 or 6 hour round trip. So just a little bit about us. So we consider ourselves to be innovators and integrators of drone technology. We're leading the integration of drone technology in real-world applications with the aim of enhancing efficiency, safety, and decision-making. We're focused on delivering automated inspection and mapping using these types of cutting-edge drone systems, often with unique sensors. Cooper's been involved in the deployment of things like the Valero T drone and magnetometer equipment. So we're always sort of sitting on the cutting edge, and I think that's fair to say, Coops, that that it has its challenges at time deploying these systems. It looks great on paper.
Yeah, it does, but it's just the advantages that drones are bringing to different industries. They're just finding new ways to do things, and often that's with a new payload. So you just got to find a way to make it work. That's good.
I think we often look at those specs of those technologies, whether it's a drone-in-a-box or other sensors and other drones, and we see how it might fit into our complex environments, particularly the remote areas and the heat and the winds that we have, just to make sure that they've been successful. So we've been pretty happy with that. I suppose we've got amazing feedback from our clients around our expertise and our safety, and I think we're pretty proud that we've done over 11,000 BVLOS missions safely, and it demonstrates our extensive experience. And I know that you sit pretty close to the remote operations centre in our head office. You get to see that. How's that been? You know what I mean? Looking at those flights every day. It's
been a learning curve. It's been a good learning curve. There's something completely different. You think on paper initially it's just okay, we'll put this in place and we'll do this, but as you're going through the process, there's a lot of things that come up, new challenges, everything from the hardware to the integration to the software. But it's a great challenge, as you said, over the last 18 months, where it's now matured to a robust operation. So yeah, the biggest challenge, I think, that this where the whole topic of this presentation is going is with AI, is the amount of data movement. We're now capturing more data more often, and trying to manage that is the biggest challenge for everyone, I think.
And I think we'll talk a lot about today just about the technical aspects as far as the hardware and the software, but obviously it takes a big team, right, to get this over the line. So having, CASA, for now, a regulator, CASA certified pilots, having data analysts and project managers that can, help execute these drone operations. Having a lot of approvals as well helps, but that comes from a lot of hard work, proving to the regulator that that these things can work, but everything has to be really aligned. We're obviously focusing, as you mentioned, on AI, so on machine learning. We've been able to process a lot of this data. Having AI-powered software to help with our Drone in a Box program is certainly going to make these large scale-ups of Drone in a Box, really effective. Our clients that we work with, they often have not just 1 or 2 sites, they'll often have 100 sites in regional areas. So looking to roll this technology out to 100 sites for one client, AI-driven software has been really crucial. At Sensorum, we offer like a full end-to-end solution. So we've got a comprehensive sort of service model which covers the entire workflow from mission planning, data capture and processing through to cloud-based reporting. We have our own cloud-based platform called Dronos, which ensures secure, interactive and accessible reporting, allowing for streamlined collaboration and decision making. So that's very similar to the same concept that we see with flight-based. So cloud-based platforms are really crucial these days. And then obviously we've got our favourite, which is our custom drone in a box solution, which we call SensHub. So it's a fully autonomous drone in a box system. We have integrated with the DJI dock systems. It's designed for continuous remote drone operations. We're really proud of that product, which has been really, Cooper's been at the forefront of building that solution. It seems to be getting smaller and smaller and smaller, which is fantastic. Smaller footprint on site. We're going to do a live flight today, which is actually the Dock 1, and that'll give us an opportunity to look at the flight-based software and our original setup, which we're still really proud of. So we'll just talk about a bit the technology and how the technology stars have aligned for us and many other people around the globe with regards to Drone in a Box. The Drone in a Box deployment 2 or 3 years ago wasn't possible because all of the technologies were not available. So it's important to remember that when you're, for these people who are out there watching this that are looking to deploy their own Drone in a Box program, it's not just about the DJI dock or what other product you might have that's similar. It's more than that. It's about building a system that's suited to your environment, and for us, that's all about Outback Australia. So finding the critical supporting products that can withstand the challenges of regional Australia has been a significant hurdle in deploying a Drone in a Box solutions. We've got vast distances between towns. We've got limited infrastructure. We've got harsh environments. It means that the more common communication, power, and support systems are often not there, or they're not suitable. So having reliable connectivity has been a bit of a challenge for us, particularly in areas where we lack mobile or cellular coverage. So it's forced us to go and look at other technologies like Starlink satellite, VHF radio over the internet to maintain real-time data transfer and communications with manned aircraft. So overcoming these challenges has been a crucial part with regards to building a robust and scalable industrial site Drone in a Box solution for regional and remote Australia. So, Coops, I might just get you to just give us a bit of an idea about the Starlink and VHF over internet, and maybe some of the challenges and how we overcame that.
Yes, certainly. So the VHF over internet, required a direct pipeline. So there was some setup requirements that were critical to making sure that could work over Starlink, and then making sure all the other subsystems within the communication box all worked reliably. Also on the ROC end, making sure that we have redundancy and the capabilities to make sure to bring that all in. Priority feed surfaces in, whilst the other, the other part of the office keeps being operational. The VHF, location to location can be quite different as well, with different interferences, different amounts of communication traffic, and proximity to airports. So it's not a case of a simple installation, or the one VHF installation is going to fit for all places. So it's not overly complicated, but it's just knowing that when you go to do a site install, there's a few things that need to be checked, because one of the downsides is with these units being so remote, which is their advantage, is that once you've left and you come back to your operation center, you want it to be working 100%, because traveling back out can be a bit lengthy.
Yeah, agreed. I suppose the next one is just the power considerations, which we gave a lot of thought to. So it's a major issue with many remote sites. They lack that stable grid access, so it necessitates basically monitored backup power systems, which we've put into our communications box, which you can see in that image there, which is our original setup from 2023, our comms box, with our full communication setup. So we've got to have power systems long enough to return the drone back to the dock in case of any sort of power outages to the system. So sourcing sort of hardware rugged enough to withstand the extreme heat and dust and storms, not giving away too much IP. Like that was a challenge, trying to have those battery systems sitting there in pretty extreme conditions.
Yeah, it was, and it's not having to add in additional measures, maybe like air conditioning and that, to help stabilize them, and just finding that good balance, because the aim was to make this an efficient install. The idea is to be able to get a dock on site. It's not about getting a whole other complicated piece of hardware on site. So it's just finding that balance. And I'd like to say our first iteration was very successful, but we've taken learnings from that and developed that into our SensHub product. And with certain sites as well, we haven't seen any downsides not being completely off-grid power. There's usually people within close proximity, and the reasons for power being out are actually widespread, and it's not a key requirement. It adds a lot of other complexities about installing a very electrically complicated system, albeit it can be done. It's about efficiency at this point.
I think our target to our clients was to say that we'd have all the equipment in place, operating at full capacity, requiring maintenance only every, say, 6 months, which was a real challenge. But we were really pleased when we deployed the first original dock ones that we only went to site and checked on those systems after 6 months, and to be honest, I was really surprised that they were out of the factory across all of the products, not just the drone in a box, but the comms cabinets and CCTV and everything. So that was really reassuring for us, and we were able to pass that information to the client. So that's really important, especially in your regional areas. You mentioned about the solar and connection to power. The solar arrays for drone in a box systems, they can be a challenge in their own. Some of the issues with regards to to building a solar array?
There is, and it's piecing the correct components together, which is, again, just another integration process. But every operator has its own requirements, so it's making sure that gets through their electrical certification, site-specific requirements. There's a lot of other complexities in introducing a off-grid power system from a supplier that is actually far above and beyond what integrating just a simple dock solution can be. So it added another operational hurdle to get through, and it was another chink in the chain. It's another maintainable item. If we as we've all seen, the dock systems from DJI have proven to be very reliable hardware, even in these extreme conditions, with the only maintainable item potentially being, well, apart from propellers, is the battery. And with hundreds of flight cycles on it, it's been extremely reliable. But adding in copious amounts of lithium batteries and then solar panel cleaning and inverter checks can add another whole maintenance schedule that is far above beyond what the DJI drone needs. So at this point, it's another cost that's not really a necessity. It doesn't net that much more from the actual system.
And I think this picture here gives a demonstration of the last one adapting to the varied drone-in-a-box product sizes. The first one, the drone-in-a-box Dock 1, was significantly larger than Dock 2. So the varying sizes, that has its own challenges when you build support products around the platform, and then the manufacturer of the drone-in-a-box, DJI in this case, changes the size significantly. That does also pose some challenges. So, and there are other products out there, obviously, other than DJI that produce drone in a box. So shifting footprints and positioning requirements can impact on how we build these systems, the installation, logistics, and what that causes on delays and additional costs, etc. Conscious of the time, so we'll just move on to, I suppose, some operational success. And we'll try and do a screen share, I think, while I'm talking about this, if this is possible. This is our remote operations centre, our team working in there. Classic Western Australian kind of outfit for our guys, the fluoro kit, which we see in our mining operations. And these guys work in mines a lot, so they're quite used to wearing that. So they just get into the remote operations centre, into the air-conditioned comfort, and they're still making sure they're full PPEs intact. So while we're talking about our operational success, we might do a screen share. So I'm just going to jump on now, and right, hopefully we can now. All right, so we're just now, I'm a guest having a look at our operation. Well, hopefully this will become live in a second, and in the meantime, I'll just share some of our operational success while we see Jack, who's our pilot, and he'll be coming airborne in about 10 seconds. So I suppose we've proven the reliability, of this technology in harsh conditions. Have demonstrated exceptional reliability across regional Australia, as we were talking about before. Operating autonomously in challenging weather conditions, remote locations, and critical industrial environments. So all these environments are very dusty at this time of the year. They're very hot. So this is, believe it or not, this is actually a live flight. This is actually happening right now. This is not a pre-recorded. I'm going to go and change my pic to the satellite to give you a bit of an idea of what that kind of looked like. So with the DJI dock units, custom communication setup, including Starlink AI-driven software, the AIR unit that's been provided by Flightbase, systems have been providing consistent sort of real-time aerial insights while minimizing, obviously that's the idea, minimizing human intervention. The robustness of this equipment ensures 24/7 operations. I mean, with some of these aircraft are flying, every hour, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, right throughout 24-hour period, even in the extreme temperatures, high winds, and these isolated regions, where traditional type of inspection methods would be certainly inefficient and possibly hazardous. We've also discovered new use cases through the client adoption. So really, it's really important to get stakeholder engagement. So once deployed, clients quickly realized or recognized additional applications beyond their initial requirements. So for this particular site, the original interest was around bird scaring, and now we've expanded to using the technology to cover site monitoring, security, and asset inspection. So they gained, as the clients gained confidence in their technology, we've worked closely to refine the workflows, and it's led to more integrated and data-driven decision-making processes. And it's just about seamless remote operations and scalability. That's really important. Scalability is really important for these areas. With this particular client, they've got 100 sites. We've got other clients in the eastern states of Australia that are now rolling out our SensHub products throughout 2025. And these clients, again, they don't just have one site. They'll have over 100 sites in their portfolio. So through this remote operations centre that we have here in Perth, we successfully enabled this BVLOS missions, allowing for fully remote monitoring, automated scheduling, rapid response capabilities. And this has ultimately provided cost savings, efficiency gains for industries that are reliant on these large scale asset inspections and site surveillance, like this client. So the scalability of our drone in a box systems has allowed our clients to expand from single site deployments to multi-site networks, which has reinforced the long-term viability of autonomous drone in a box technology in regional Australia. So our last slide, which we'll just leave this live sharing just for going for another 30 seconds while we finished our last slide, and it's just all about the AI-driven enhancements, using our SensHub unit. So it's allowing us to do now more automated flight missions. We've been able to integrate with the flight-based AIR unit. I'm pleased to say that we were the very early adopter with that technology. Thank you to Flightbase. We've had that in place for a little while now, and it's certainly helping us, with automatic object detection, so vehicles and people, including at night. So it's really been interesting for the client and interesting for us, and we're looking for more updates with that product. You've obviously got the next gen DJI intelligent operational functions as well. We've seen that with the Matrice 4 series, and these advancements with DJI, we're expected that to be sort of integrated into future DJI dock models that come out. And also, sort of for us, it's about future proofing drone in a box using AI integration, with AI technology sort of advancing rapidly, since as a business we're ensuring drone in a box solutions remain right at the forefront by continuously integrating new intelligent capabilities, which is demanded often by our clients, but also internally for us as well. So the combination of Flightbase's AIR units, robust AI algorithms, plus DJI's next-gen automation is going to lead to higher autonomy, proactive issue detection, and scalability for sort of multi-site operations using sort of one-to-many operations. So that sort of finishes our presentation. I'm going to sort of stop sharing now. Thank you to Jack giving us a bit of a demonstration of the Flightbase software in a live environment. I suppose, Cooper, do you want to sort of finish up there and summarise our drone in a box rollout and where you see this being for our business over the next sort of 12 to 18 months?
This is the next new thing. The AI side of it is the interesting part, because as I touched on before, it's the data movement, and it's the data we're capturing and the data you have to sift through and make decisions from, and you want those drones to be able to react to those decisions. And if we can automate those processes, the whole thing just takes another step forward. It's quite exciting. Like I think we touched on, you and I were chatting a bit earlier, is the AI technology race is full steam ahead. But it's quite amazing to see that the hardware is actually right there behind it, ready to go, where sometimes you're always waiting for the hardware to pop up, catch up. So now it's about, hey, where can we push the AI into where the hardware is being used, which is quite exciting. We're not really having to wait. It's really just on what we can all do together. So yeah, looking forward to it. That's the next 12 to 18 months, is let's take drone in the box to the next stage. It's the new systems are coming out, which again add more capabilities and more technology, and it's just, what else can we take on?
Yep, agreed. And I think a lot of people watching out there will probably be looking at this and saying that seems like a long way down in the future. This is really complex. I think we've proven that over in 12 to 18 months period, you can really roll out a drone in a box program and be very successful. So thank you very much to Flightbase for having us here.
Thank you so much, Ed Cooper. That was very insightful. For sure, and we have seen how your operations have scaled over these last few months, and we fully understand the nuances of each and every deployment that you guys have made. And overall, in general, there are very similar stories coming across, especially of mapping with your stakeholders and understanding what use cases they would want to target. Because humans are quite imaginative, so they are able to come up with interesting use cases for themselves, and then operationally setting all of the docks up. It's not just about the docks; it's about the internet, it's about the connectivity, the power, so on and so forth. So we can take up one question in the interest of time, and we have one question from David.
Yeah.
On the lines of what I was just mentioning. So David is asking that he's part of a security company in southwest of USA. They're planning on deploying hubs in dry, hot weather and freezing nights in a year calendar with extreme weather like heat, freezing, high winds, etc. What are you seeing on a realistic 24/7, 365 deployment year round?
Yeah. That's a great question. Thanks, David. I really appreciate it. And what I would say is, just do it. It's worth it. The technology is ready. I don't know what sort of dry, hot weather what we have is, I'm going to talk in Celsius, so you have to convert it. Apologies, but if 45-degree temperatures during the middle of the summer, it does actually get pretty cold in those areas in the wintertime. When we have clear skies, often it'll be 0 degrees Celsius, overnight. So it is pretty cold. And it operates seamlessly. We've had no issues with regards to operating our drone-in-a-box technology with regards to weather-related issues. Obviously, there are some limitations with regards to wind speed. It'll recommend not to fly, so we don't fly when it says that it's going to exceed the limitations set by the manufacturer. As long as you stick to that, we've had huge success. Like I said, first 6 months we went out there and we had no issues whatsoever. It was like this equipment had come out of the box. Now, that's just the drone in a box side of things. Obviously, you've got the comms cabinet to support that, but there's a lot of communication infrastructure that's already been deployed for decades in other use cases in areas exactly as David's referring to, and they've been surviving quite well. So, yes, be rest assured, it does work.
Awesome. So I think David replied saying, "Awesome. That is exactly what I was wanting to hear." One question, I know we're over time, but we'll just take one question because it's just come in from Sean Barrett. Do you have ops over or near people approval for your ops over grain terminals? That is for staff working around terminals, or is it considered sheltered ops or low population density ops?
Yeah, so that's good. Thanks, Sean. Yes, we do have ONP for our operations over these grain terminals. I suppose we take a really conservative approach. We just don't fly over people. And I can see your question has come up. Do we use a parachute? No, we don't. And the reason we don't use one, Sean, is because we have other equipment bolted to the top. So the speaker and spotlight system. So there's no more room for a parachute system. So we have to take a really conservative approach. And if we see people come to a stop and maneuver around them, that can be complex and difficult in a industrial environment. There are some sites, industrial sites in metro areas that we're deploying right now where we'll sacrifice the speaker and spotlight and we will use a parachute system to help us with some of those approvals. But that's a very good question, and that is a challenge in an industrial area where the drones are so quiet these days. It's very hard for people to know that the drones are actually overhead, even though they know when they come into site, they sign on knowing that there's a drone in operation. But yes, it's very difficult to hear. So we've just got to take a proactive approach and monitor those drones. So that there are always challenges with regards to humans and drones, mixing together in the same environment. So it's always a work in progress, but I think it's important to always take a conservative approach.
Thank you so much, Ed Cooper. It was a pleasure, hosting this session. It was a pleasure hearing you speak about how your deployments have scaled in Australia. Thank you for the audience for tuning in and for asking all the questions. Thank you, David, Sean, Gio, all the other guys. So we'll have the sessions recorded and we'll post them on our website soon. Stay tuned for that. You can follow Ed and Cooper on LinkedIn. You can also go through their website, and you can keep in touch with them through this session and through the Goldcast platform as well. Thank you so much, Ed, Cooper. Any closing thoughts? Anything that you would like to share other than that, or we can
Look, mate, I just wanted to say it's a really exciting time, and like I say again, the stars have aligned with this technology, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens, and I'm looking forward to NestGen 2026.
Awesome. Thank you so much for those thoughts, Ed.
No worries.
Have a great day. Thank you for tuning in, Cooper.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.